How are we doing? We got any audio? Let us know in the comments if we have the audio there, folks. Any audio? Can you guys hear me? All right. Sorry about that. That just took a second to hop that in there. That's perfect, though, because we're trying to get everybody in there. If you are having some issues on YouTube with the clipping in the top and the bottom, that's a new feature on StreamYard, who is our streaming platform. Just rotate your phone sideways. It should put it in landscape mode and allow that to fix itself there. I'm going to get a hold of StreamYard and figure out if we can just get rid of that in general. However, if you guys just started joining us, you didn't hear me talk at all, so that's great. We're going to run back through real quick of some of the things that we're working for here. We have the Black Widow Dynasty, or Black Widow 3.0 Dynasty. That's what I should say. I'd rather just call it the Dynasty, but hey, I'm not the guy in charge of names. We're going to be trying this guy out today. We're going to be looking at that in comparison to the Zero Mercy Solid, which we know as advertised. Zero Mercy is just a little earlier, a little stronger overall, but the Black Widow should give us a little bit more flip. Black Widow Dynasty 3.0 or 3.0 Dynasty, flipping it. Going to be a little sharper down lane for sure. So that's just something to think about. Both of these balls are laid out 45, 4.5, 30. That's just my typical strong pinup layout for my asymmetrical equipment. Whereas the Hammerhead Pearl, we're going to be with a pin down layout on both of these. We have a pin down layout on this and the Hazmat Pearl. This for me is 60 by 4 by 75. Just something that I'm looking to control some friction with. Now, obviously, the Hazmat Pearl is a little stronger overall. I think it's got a 55 for a diff. So we're going to go ahead and once again, I'm going to bounce back over here, make sure the audio sounds all good. Throws Tyler in the mix a little bit, just make sure we know how to switch the screens around. But other than that, we should be good to go. We'll get some shots going and we'll go from there, okay? All right, Mike. Yeah, there shouldn't have been too much clipping. It is confusing as to why that ends up happening. But let's go back to just real quick. Let's check out this Hammerhead. Get you guys a solo layout there. Now, this particular ball, if you can tell, does have the HK22 Aggression Pearl. And if Tyler Armour from Brunswick has yet to jump into the chat, we could talk just a little bit about this. I didn't really see any balls with the exact HK22 Aggression Pearl, but that was just some quick research before we started today. Let us know in the chat if you do know of any balls that already have this exact compound on there. There are a few that do have HK22, like Cohesion Pearl is on a few of the balls, but nothing that I've seen that has the Aggression Pearl on it. And like I said, the numbers on this particular ball, if you look up the RG and differential, the RG is very similar to what the Hazmat Pearl is going to be. The Hazmat Pearl is 247,055, I believe, in 15 pounds. Whereas we have the Hammerhead here, I believe, is just 248, and then it's 048 there, or 251, or yeah, 248,048. Sorry, glasses. So, and then we're just going to hop back over here just so you guys get to see this one. The Dynasty as well. HK22 Cohesion Solid has been on a few pieces before. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But once again, if we end up jumping back into with Tyler Armour here just a little bit, if he does end up in the chat, he'll be able to give us a little bit more insight on some of the cover accommodations in comparison to what they are that's already out there. So you guys have a good idea for that. So obviously, if you guys are tuning in, I just want to make sure you like and share this stream. I want to get you guys a chance to win one of those free Buddies merch packs that we have a picture of down there in the bottom right. So feel free to like and share the stream. I apologize if anybody has on YouTube some clipping issues there. We are definitely going to work on that, figuring out what's going on with that. That's very interesting. So happy to have everybody back for 2026, our first live review. It's been a little bit of time, but we have been jam-packed and slammed here at Buddies. So we are going to get everybody tuned back in here. So we have side by side of the cameras there. We're definitely going to get rid of me. You guys don't want to take a look at this camera, I promise. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get ready to hop back over here and get you guys all set up for the view. And then, yeah, Tyler, so if you just click that one right there, that'll put the down lane on. The down lane camera is different today. It's a little zoomed out. We're going to work on that one as well. But hopefully it doesn't crush us too much. I am going to start out with the Hazmat Pearl today. This particular ball, I was a big fan of it, but it was very, very strong for what I expected out of this ball. Obviously, 55 dip ball, going to be pretty strong anyway, but with being shined up, I expected it to get down the lane, retain just a little bit more overall. So I definitely see this ball as being a little earlier, a little more rounded shape than what the Hammerhead is going to be, especially with a little less differential in the Hammerhead. I should be able to get a little cleaner, a little sharper off the spot. But we're going to take a look here. I'm not going to pretend that these balls all aren't pretty strong, with the exception of the Hammerhead's technically a step in the middle. But yeah, so probably going to play just a little further in than what we would typically would, because then I want to fight it for you guys on the stream. So we'll go ahead and throw some shots here with the Hammerhead. We'll see if we can just get loosened up just a little bit, see what's going on with them. Okay, so it's probably a little easier to tell with a ball that has a lot of white in it when it's starting to pick up into that roll. So you definitely see, even with this ball being pinned down, which if you don't know, pinned down on 99.99% of equipment now, pinned down is going to offer you just a little less shape overall, with a little cleaner front to back shape, just because it is fighting your rotation a little bit. It's going to lope a little further down the lane when you do that.
So we have Patrice Demeter. She is, good morning, by the way, Patrice. I don't know if she can hear me. Good morning, Patrice. You were asking, is the Black Widow better on dry lanes than the Identity?
No, I would absolutely say it's not, mostly because the Identity is going to be shined up. So the Identity is going to get a little further down lane in general, and then both of them. And obviously, I don't believe it's nearly as strong, especially off the spot, in terms of what the Widow would be once it actually meets that solid friction. So if you're looking for something that's going to control a little bit more oil, so something in the medium to heavier oil categories, I think that's where you're going to start finding that you're going to use that Black Widow Dynasty 3.0. Now, if you're looking for something that's for dry lanes, that's still a little bit on the stronger side, I think that Hammerhead is going to be a good pick for that, especially on the fresh. It still is a little bigger of a core, but it's not nearly what the Widow series is, or even Zero Mercies, or even this Hazmat is. So we'll throw another shot or two here with this Hazmat, and then we're going to put it away, and we're just going to pretty much stick to the Hammerhead and throw some shots with that. So. Yeah, definitely a little earlier. Even that one was a better shot overall, but you can see that it wasn't really driving through the pins as it got to the back part of the lane, and that is still because the ball is picking up significantly earlier than what I would expect for a bigger, shinier ball. So I tell you what, we're going to skip right away from it. Maybe we'll come back and throw some shots as we get in a little bit deeper so we can really see the differences. But I'm just excited, I got to be honest, to throw this new Hammerhead, mainly because I think it passes the looks test.
It is a pretty ball.
It's a very unique color combination. Well, it's not necessarily unique in a lot of sense, but anytime they decide to put a pearl ball together that is black, silver pearl, and then has like a bright color that's mixed in with it, I think it just automatically passes the test. Balls I can think of are something like this, the Zero Mercy Pearl, balls like the No Rules Pearl for me, huge fan, Altered Reality, Harsh Reality Pearl, all those type of balls. In terms of looks, they got me, you know? So, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this in a similar zone as what we just threw that Hazmat. I expect it to get a little further down lane. I'm probably going to have to feed this to the friction to really get it to see it. But if I would have done that with the Hazmat, it probably just would have went forward and really kind of puked out and really wouldn't have finished. So, like I said, we'll stay in at the very least a similar zone as to what we just were. I almost expect this, if it does see it, it's going to be a little sharper down lane. So let's find out. Oh, it's way up the lane though. Let's let's not look at that one. That wasn't my best. So got it. Still using the thumb. Don't squeeze in the morning. It's not worth it. You guys are more than welcome to throw some questions in there. You got Tyler on the mic, and he's taking a look at comments for you. So we'll relay those over. We'll talk a little bit more about these balls. And then also Tyler Armour should be joining us. If he's not, is what it is. But if you don't know Tyler Armour, consumer specialist for Brunswick, he takes care of the southeast region. So very knowledgeable when it comes to all of this equipment. All right, let's throw one in the general area of not dead over my head. A little further, right? And I mean, it's pretty easy to see, even with that one being a little further up the lane, it's still wanting to jump off the spot a little bit harder too. So if anything, that's just doubling down and letting me know that it is a little cleaner. And it's definitely a little bit sharper. But I can tell you, should probably get one right at the head pin in order for it to have a chance.
Good morning, George.
All right. Good feeling about this. That's a little closer. What's that one got for us? There we go. Yeah, not nearly as early. I don't know if it was really easy to pick up on the white there from the Hazmat. The Hazmat kind of just picked up pretty quick and just was very rolly in the middle part of the lane. And by the time it got down lane, it didn't really have too much going for it. And a little bit of that. I mean, the RGs are similar, 247, 248, but the Hammerhead has a 048 for a diff, while the Hazmat Pearl has 55. So something that's just a little bit stronger. And I think the white in the Hazmat is. We talked about this before. White is just a crazy color for if wanting to get a ball to pick up a little earlier. Out of all the things, believe it or not, we do believe that color does matter here, especially when it comes to a white ball. I don't know if it just plays with their eyes a little bit more, but I know there's been some research on that with white being technically a denser overall pigment. So they ended up ends up being hooked just a little earlier. So I'm not going to get into that 'cause I don't know too much about it other than just what you hear real quick. So let's get another shot here with this Hammerhead. That one got a little further right. What's that do? Sick. That ball looks pretty good. I can tell you, I did throw some shots with the Hazmat, which the Hazmat Pearl doesn't have a lot of games on it. Probably has about 5 games or so on it. So in terms of it being older, might have just been sitting around a little while longer. But yeah, I mean, I can tell you that when I threw that Hazmat, it wasn't quite as sharp. Let's get another one going here. Chris Forey has joined us on lane 39. So you're welcome to say hi to Chris. That was pretty sharp too. Oh, are they? I got you. We'll get another set here. That Hammerhead's pretty sharp down lane in comparison. So
we have a congratulations from Nick Albatross. Oh,
thank you, Nick. It was a fun time. 0 mercy solid all day, the entire time, with the exception I think I threw a maximum effect that's been down for like a game and a half or so to keep me out of trouble. But those balls are good. Balls are very good. I'm gonna move just a hair further left here. The Hammerhead. Really make sure we're feeding it to that spot. That's pretty good. Man, she just keeps jumping. Keeps on jumping. I think we're just going to jump too. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, maybe I didn't catch that when we had the audio off, but we're not going to pretend that these balls aren't pretty strong and that nutmeg hooks a lot. So let's go ahead and get another rack here. And we'll just keep jumping. We'll jump a little bit further. And it's not going to be anything that we're going to stop doing because we're only going to get into stronger pieces as we're moving forward. So get my feet in pretty much that 25 territory. See if we can still feed this thing to the friction a little bit. That's closer. Had no problems. No problems turning the corner.
We have a question from YouTube. Currently using a 3D Assault and Compound as my #1 ball in league, but experiencing more oil lately. Better to sand the 3D to 1,000 or 2,000 and buy Pearl, and buy Pearl ASIM or buy solid/sanded ASIM.
I got to be honest with you. I was a big fan of that 3D, so I'm glad you're still throwing that.
Yes.
I think that ball looked pretty good with surface too. So what I would do, I know you're bouncing back and forth between 1,000 and 2,000. What I would take is hit it with a 500 pad all the way around pretty good. Take a fresh 2,000 back over top of it pretty good. And what's that going to do is going to give that ball a layer of teeth underneath it. If you just hit it with a 2,000, it's gone by 5 shots in. So, but if you hit it with a little 500 pad first, really dull the thing up, go back over that with a 2,000, you're going to get more close to a true 2,000 out of it, especially if you have some fresh pads. And then, yeah, I still think that that's a very viable option for heavier oil. But if the ball has a lot of games on it too, I mean, you're going to have to go back to almost detoxing it a little bit. You got to make sure it's absorbing oil. But if you hit that thing with surface, and you throw some shots with it, and you notice that the oil lines are still there for a good bit of time without you wiping them off, maybe time to get the thing detoxed. So, because that ball's been out for a little bit. But no, 3D, great piece to add in the bag. But then if you're going to go into something that you need that's a little later in the block, like a shinier ball, this Hammerhead so far seems pretty good for making the corner on it when there's a little bit of friction out. But if you need something that's just a little bit bigger than that, that Zero Mercy Pearl that's got to be one of my favorite balls in the market right now. Just, I haven't thrown it except to strike, if that makes any sense. Every time I bring that ball out of the bag, it's striking. Now, I didn't necessarily have to do that at the last event that I was at, which is a little longer oil, but I was just complimenting myself with the Zero Mercy Solid, and that ball did the job too, so it's a little heavier oil. But yeah, I think if you need something that's a little shinier for a little later blocks, Zero Mercy Pearl. If you need something a little bigger, and then, you know, if you're wanting to stick with the Hammer brands, this ball looks pretty good too, this Hammerhead. Once again, guys, like and share this stream. I know we're first stream back in 2026. Still another shot here. Like I said, we did move in a little bit deeper, so hopefully it gives us a little more play. That was a little further right. Does that bounce? Sure does. Sure does. This makes me feel like the Zero Mercy Pearl when I had it. If you checked out the review of the Zero Mercy Pearl, you seen when I pulled it out of the bag, all it did was strike. I think we had like 22 in a row or something like that before it ended up, I think, like 7-pin or something. So similar vibes on this lane. Let's get another one here. Once again, if you want to see the layouts of these balls, they are in the comments. It's a pin down layout for me. It's 4x75. That's pretty good. Man, I think it's just jumping. It's pretty strong. Pretty strong down lane. That's what happens when you throw it just a little too good, I guess. Catch it just a little harder at the bottom. But if you see, it's very sharp. It's very much retaining energy from that same spot. And I'm actually going to jump back into the Hazmat from the same place since we're a little bit deeper, so we can really see the difference as we're trying to cover a few more boards. Since we're a little bit more oil too, that could end up helping our case. Probably get us some pins to play with. If you've seen anybody throw, obviously, the Hammerhead Pearl or any of the new Widows, since they did come out yesterday, feel free to let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. Now, what I'm expecting out of this, since we're switching to the Hazmat, I'm expecting it to be pretty forward and kind of lazy down lane. Yeah, I mean, that ball was already DOA halfway down the lane. So where you're seeing is the Hammerhead got down there, still had plenty of retention left in it, and really just kind of jumped the corner. So quite a bit of difference between the two. Even it's kind of interesting to see the difference in shape, despite knowing that the Hazmat Pearl is technically on paper a little bit stronger. So you would expect to see that one be the one that's going through the face, but it's just so early in comparison that the ball is really just kind of picking up a little sooner and really getting into that heavy roll. Yeah, pretty easy to see there. So we'll throw 2 or 3 more here with that Hammerhead before we decide to jump into the bigger balls of the evening, or the morning, I should say. Let's see here. We're just going to keep going a little further left with this guy. I think it just still wants that. Plenty of strength with this type of ball. There's a little forward on that one, so that kind of makes sense. But overall, it still saw the lane plenty enough to try to get back to the pocket there. I can't say I'm throwing it the best either. We're getting a little quick at the bottom, trying to make it look good for you guys. And we're not going to shoot any spears today. Remember to like and share the stream, folks. Want to get you guys in for a chance to win one of those free Buddies merch packs that you see at the bottom right of your screen today.
No, you're good.
So we did jump in just a little further. Maybe we'll add some rotation, see if it'll still want to bounce.
When you're bowling, yeah.
That's a lot of rotation. What does that do? Makes sense. If you go from 25 degrees of rotation to 65, that's it. That's what happens.
Yeah, that thing is sharp.
But I mean, the ball definitely jumped the spot there. I personally like seeing that out of these types of balls, mainly because that's what I want them to do when I'm starting to transition to these balls. I want them to get a little sharper down lane. That at the very least allows me to feel like I can kind of ease up on it a little bit and don't have to hit it so hard to get it to turn the corner. A little less is more action. So same type of thing. We're just going to dial that rotation in just a little bit more. Obviously, this ball still really wants to kick the corner. So a little bit better. Like that. Ball looks pretty good. And so we'll get maybe one or two more in here. Since we are starting to migrate into the middle of the lane, we'll get into the Dynasty and Zero Mercy, see kind of how they play against each other. This is a fresh house shot today, so nothing fancy like a sports shop, but that's what we want to see. We want to see this thing bounce around. You know, nutmeg's a little higher friction surface, maybe not the craziest surface that's in the Northeast, but definitely has its moments to hook, especially if you get one to the gutter. Let's get another one here. Making sure that rotation's worked in there. That one got a little further right too. Sweet. As you can see, even though that got a little further right, the ball still didn't have too much of an issue actually making the corner and staying through the pins. I mean, it's pretty much right through the 8-9. It's kind of finished there. If you start seeing a ball like that start to tail back and hit the 9-pin in the face, it's probably time to either get out of it or make an adjustment, maybe bump the rotation to try to get the ball to go through the pins the right way. Now, people are pretty quick to make ball changes, but if it's something that you're striking all night, if you can add a little rotation, have that kind of tool in your bag, maybe get a little more use out of that certain piece of equipment. I think that's what the guys that shoot 900 do, man. They're just lined up all night, it seems like. So, little tweak here later in the block, and they're still locked in. So another one. That was pretty good, and a good result. That's ball looks great from that position. That's cool. Much better than what I expected to see. That's more what I wanted to see out of the Hazmat Pearl when I first drilled it. But now, as you kind of tell, I wanted that Hazmat from when the friction started developing, and even that thing wants to pick up and roll pretty early. So, not saying that the ball is not very good. It's just very strong in comparison. If I remember right, these between the Hazmat and the Hammerhead, those lines are quite a bit different from each other. I think one is upper middle, while we have the Hammerhead here, I believe, just sits right in the middle. Throw one more here with this Hammerhead, just from a little bit deeper, just for funsies. Still trying to bend the corner a little. No problemo there. No problem getting that thing turned in the corner. Very cool. Very cool. I mean, once again, passed the looks test. I think it's passing the ball reaction test as we see it there. So I can definitely see this putting back in my bag. I'm always a big fan of having a pin up shiny ball, pin down shiny ball that are big. Then you just keep going through that. So, I have a pin up asymmetric shiny ball, pin down asymmetric shiny ball. But we ball in a lot of different conditions. So when you're dragging 20 balls along with you, make sure they're all evened out. But if not, if you're just needing a shiny ball, it looks like it turns the corner, but it's not quite as aggressive as what you would see out of a Zero Mercy Pearl. Ball looks pretty good. So, having said that, we'll jump out of it. We're going to go right into this Zero Mercy solid. Once again, in the comments, it's there. 45, 4.5, 30 for the layouts on these. Big fan of the Zero Mercy series so far. This one actually did win me a tournament. That's the only time I ever pulled it out of the bag to bowl with it, really, outside of doing the videos. So I was very pleased with the result there. So I already know this ball is going to be significantly earlier and stronger. So we're going to go ahead and just make a predetermined move left here. Allow it to play in the oil just a little bit too. It's so early and so rolling. If you don't keep it in the oil, it really doesn't have a chance to kind of get there, which luckily, when we won the tournament, a little longer pattern, had a little more volume to it. We're able to keep it a little bit more in front of you. And man, if that's something that you're looking for, is a very strong early ball that still wants to get through the pins and get kicked the corner. Ball's amazing. So another shot of it here. We're trying to keep this one just a little bit more in the oil. So this ball in particular has probably about 15 games on it now. As it says, I think we had about a dozen at NEBA. So yeah, roughly 15 games on it. I did touch the surface back up on it, 500,000 over top of it. Now it's got maybe a couple games on it since then. Didn't want to go too crazy with the surface for today because, man, it's too much. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one a little bit more in the oil. just to have an idea. Still very strong, very early. But noticeable difference between the earliness that I had out of that Hazmat. Not that we're necessarily comparing those right side by side each other, but Zero Mercy still wanted to continue. Asymmetric ball, still wanted to drive through that spot, continue a little bit stronger. It has those nice strong shapes out of those types of balls. Didn't really puke down lane. So one more at the Zero Mercy solid, just so you can put it in your mind what type of shape this ball has. As four, he kicks the 9-10 out. We'll go just a hair deeper. She wants it, so sliding pretty much around 30 more than likely here. That was a little more forward too. I don't think those Zero Mercy balls care. I don't think they care what you do. They're just going to keep striking. Balls like that are interesting to me, that even if you get a little forward with them, you would expect them to kind of burn out as they get down the lane. They still find a way to get the 10 out. It's insane.
Mike agrees with you on that Zero Mercy.
Oh my goodness. The balls are so good. So good. Shout out to the folks that obviously at Brunswick, but in particular, watching these hammer balls go down the lane lately is something else. Now, Widows, this will be, other than the Tour V1, this will be my first one-handed Widow I've had in, I can't tell you when. The Mania I drill is a 2-finger ball. The ball seemed pretty good. Chris Forey liked it, and Chris isn't a fan of Widows. So I got to imagine Santa Virgin is going to be pretty close. Not quite as early as the original 3.0, which I don't have that ball, so that's why we didn't do the comparison today. But just a little sharper. 3.0 is still selling, the original. 3.0 Dynasty, I think it's going to be even better of a seller. I think it's going to have just a little more pop down lane. Now, we are going to stay in the same place here as we did with that last shot. So once again, sliding around 30, trying to keep it a little more in the oil. A little forward too. Same type of thing there. So we'll throw one more shot. That one got a little further right too. I never claimed to be accurate. But even with that one, still a little forward. I don't know if you can kind of see as it came off the back part of that pattern, saw that friction. It was a little quicker as it saw that defined friction, but it wasn't as early to the point where it's going to give me a real rounded shape. Let's see here. See if we can get a close up on these flare rings real quick. I don't know if you can kind of see them there in the video or not, but ball flares quite a bit. Not quite as much flare as I believe what the Mercy's offer, but it's pretty close. Go ahead. Once again, just going to try to keep this one a little more on the oil. That one's definitely in the oil. What's that do? Sweet. Still handled that oil pretty well. That ball is still out of box. If I remember right, Tyler, what's the out of box finish on the Black Widow? I believe it was 2000. I just didn't want to go blurting it out.
2000.
Sounds about right.
You sure?
Now, I'd probably, if I decided to keep it. You can just really see how much different That ball is coming off the back part of the pattern, what that Zero Mercy solid was.
Audio,
What you got?
Audio went.
Oh, audio's back out.
Are we good now?
What happened? Mike looks good here. Still on the stage. Huh, weird. As we said, the audio plagues us always. Couldn't tell you why. It just bounces in and out whenever it feels like it, I guess.
All right.
One day we're going to figure it out, I promise. It just went out and came back on. I don't know.
Back now.
The Wi-Fi here is
I know.
struggling some
The
days.
Wi-Fi that we have now is.
All right.
Well, yeah.
We're going to bump in just a little more and try to create just a little more overall shape with this thing down lane. So just circling that hand a little bit more. I got a little further right, too. That should do it. Ball bounces, man. Ball bounces. I don't know what to say. Up until recently, there's been some hit or misses, but I feel like with Hammer, the past 4 balls that I've tried with these guys, A1. Absolute A1. Very cool to see. Go ahead and get another one here. Still creating that shape. Probably going to kick this one just a little further inside, but we'll see what the guy throwing the ball decides to do. That's pretty close. And now we're starting to get into that territory where might have to make sure it gets to the friction in order to create the shape. Could just be a little ahead of it too. So, but since I'm there, so we're in a little bit further, let's go back to that Zero Mercy and see, does it just round the shape even more? Does it continue a little bit differently? So we'll see. See if we can handle that puddle and still finish. If you guys haven't already done so, please like and share the stream. Even with the audio being a little buggy, we like people to know what we're doing out here. All right, so we take the Zero Mercy a little further left, about 4 or 5 left further with my feet than what we were initially. Still doing the same type of thing, trying to keep it a little more in the middle of the lane and circle a little bit, see if it likes to play this. Now, this is a little past the zone where when we initially tested these balls, I started having some issues, so we'll see. Look pretty good too. But once again, this was like that zone where it's like first couple looked pretty good. Then the ball started bleeding out a little bit. It started leaving some corners here and there. And then you throw the Zero Mercy Pearl. So throw another one here from that. Should probably stop throwing this ball too. Don't want to use all the strikes up or whatever they say, right? Throw another one here. And then we'll hop back into, since we're starting to beat the lane up a little bit, we'll hop back into the Hammerhead Pearls after we do another shot with this, a couple more with Dynasty, and then hop into those Hammerheads, or the Hammerhead, I should say. One more, just keep this one just a little bit more up the lane, just to see if it plays in the oil well here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I know this is a demonstration of the Dynasty and the Hammerhead. That ball looks great still, so. Oh my goodness. And we sold a ton. It's a little bit differently than some of the other orders where it's like you get the first initial batch and then you just kind of go away. Zero Mercies keep selling well. I don't think it's a secret that the danger zones are going to sell well. Different core or big core numbers with a low price point. Yeah, that ball looked pretty good in the oil there. And I think that's even in comparison to what this just looked like from a similar area. And mostly because when I got this one up the lane, it wasn't quite early enough to really start shaping yet. So that's why we kind of came up behind it a little bit. So I think if I keep this ball in the oil again, it's really going to start coming behind the head from this spot. A little further right. But you can see, I'm not sure if it picks up on the video quite as well, but the ball really isn't quite seeing it early enough to really start shaping the corner. So we'll probably have to go back right just a little bit to really start to see that thing face up the right way, which makes sense. I mean, it all makes sense. So not quite as aggressive as what that Zero Mercy is in terms of front to back. So we'll hop back right just a little bit here. So if I was sliding 35 at the end of that, we'll hop back into the 30 region. 31 maybe.
Get out of the building.
That's pretty close.
Good morning, Bill.
All right. Makes sense. Maybe not so much. Maybe we didn't have to go 5 back.
Five.
Once again, you guys are welcome to like and share the stream. I want to make sure you guys have a chance to win one of those free Buddies merch packs that we're going to announce the winner of at the end of the stream. So another 1 or 2 here. Dynasty. Maybe just keep it in a little longer. Just a little.
Just 10 back. That might.
That's much better. That'll do it.
Wasn't very nice at all.
I gave him the business.
Actually, pick 60 and I get nothing.
Well, the good news is we're live and now everybody knows. Never fails. We always have somebody come up and talk to us during the stream.
Tuesday night.
Big fan. That's still another one here with this this Dynasty. I think it's really kind of going on top of exactly what Hammer said they were intending for this ball to be in. It's just a hair below the Zero Mercy in terms of front back. The overall shape is similar, just where it started. That's pretty good too. Got just a little more circle on that one. The ball went through the pins pretty strong still, so I'm liking it. Like what we see out of him for sure. All right, let's get another 4 rack here, and we'll hop back into the Hammerhead and start seeing some little sharper shapes. We're probably a little ahead of the move here. Obviously, we didn't put a lot of games in on this yet. Well, we'll see. We'll see what this thing decides to do. We're in a similar zone feet-wise as the last ball, but I'm going to make sure this gets a little further right, a little more rotation, see if we can bounce around the friction. No problems. Still no problems. Shiny balls look good. What are you going to say? I am interested in what a pinup version of that one look like, how much different the shape would be. Just because I'm, once again, was trying to get these balls to make sure they're a little further down lane. And I already have a pinup earlier ball that I would like to throw for this particular spot. So got to keep the pin down ones in there, especially if you're in the Northeast or in a high friction area. Throw some pin down balls, unless you're throwing a transform. Apparently that's a little different. Shout out to Storm and all the other companies for making us they pin down balls don't hook early, and then they make a ball that makes sure the pin down balls hook early. All right. So throw some more shape here. Making sure we're circling and getting that friction. It has yet to fail. Ball looks pretty good going through the pins there. So it's what's really nice about it is it's not overdoing it as it goes through the pins either. We're not finishing through the 8-pin, almost 9-pinning every shot. It is still offering some control there, which is exactly what I would expect out of my pin down layouts, for me to be able to circle them quite a bit, throw them to the friction, and give me just enough pop down lane to actually get to the 1-3, but not too much to the point where it's a little too sharp at that time. So throw another one here. Circling it to the friction. Pretty close. Hallelujah. I like it. Hammer starts making balls that are bad, I'm going to go right to him and be like, you need to go back to making these. I'll tell you, once I threw those Zero Mercy Pearls, I was in all of their ears. As many of them as I could find and tell them. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Looks like they already had that in mind. So
we have a question here.
What's the question?
William Thompson, or also Billy Thompson.
Okay.
Ask what ball would be good for me. Seeing know how many balls. So he throws it really hard. Not that many revs, so just kind of points it and kind of like spins it. Do you think that Hammerhead would be a good ball for him?
Well, it kind of depends
So
on.
He has an identity. I think it has both identities. Billy Thompson. Is both identities. It's kind of like an exotic gem. So
I mean, if you're looking to stick in the cleaner pieces, I mean, I still think
all
this would be a
ASIN
good play,
balls.
but
yeah.
okay. So if you're already going to be sanding your stuff anyway to get it to start up a little bit, that's a hard question for me for an answer because I don't sand my shiny stuff, so I have yet to hit this with any surface, so it's really hard for me to answer in terms of what this would necessarily do with a little bit of surface. Obviously, it's going to be picking up and it'll be a little earlier, a little stronger. But yeah, I mean, overall, if you're looking for something like that, I think they still make the Hammerhead, right? So the original is on the discontinued list. It might be going away soon. So, but no, I mean, just yeah, okay. That's probably the real play is that Zero Mercy solid. You can either get the solid, or if you want to hit the Pearl with a little bit of surface, and you're looking for a ball that's strong enough to actually stand up and make up for the little bit of extra speed that you have there. Those balls do the thing. Mostly because this is still like a mid-range ball, even though it's got 248, 048 numbers, which is technically a little on the stronger side for numbers wise. The Zero Mercies lines is all the way up, and let me tell you, those balls offer plenty of shape and hitting power. So yeah, I would say the Zero Mercies are probably the real play. Let's see if we can curve another one. I'm going to jump deeper just because I'm a madman. We're just going to keep feeding into the friction until it decides to stop working. My
To
goodness.
answer your question there, Billy.
Goodness gracious, the ball keeps going.
Mercy.
And I'll also throw out there, not that we offer it on the site yet, but I use a lot of Jopo finger inserts these days, and I had some Vice ones that were in that Hazmat. They're already cooked. They were basically brand new. But the Jopo ones that I've put in all my equipment are still the original set. I think they last a little bit longer. They're a little more firm, a little tighter initially. Gotta give them some time. But once they break in, I mean, they're almost perfect. I mean, they don't really go past what you need them to. I have yet to go through a full set. So still taking this thing further left. Circle it.
Just because the way you throw it, Billy,
That's a little right.
Your ball's already turning.
A little right further right early, and it still did the right thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just lane 40. Maybe it's the shiny balls. Maybe it's just hammer balls in general. They all look really good on this lane. So, all right, we're gonna throw one or two more shots here with that Hammerhead. Then we're gonna finish things up. We're gonna get you guys announced for the winner of the Buddies prize pack. And then we'll go from there. Feel free to throw any questions you guys have in the comments while we're still up. Now that one got super early, right early, but all strikes, baby, all strikes. And that's just a different. It's not necessarily that the ball overhooked or was early. It's the fact that you got it that much further right, that much earlier. And if I would have got that to the same spot, but just a few feet further down lane, it would look really good. So we're gonna do the same thing, but just not quite as far right. Well, I like to play with the friction here. At least I do. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's going to do it every single time there. That's crazy. Ball looks good. Both of them look pretty good. I can see myself definitely putting the Hammerhead in the bag. Right now, a little iffy on putting the Black Widow in the bag, but not because it doesn't look good. Just because it doesn't really, I don't really have a spot for it at the moment. I got a lot of newer pieces. We'll see. We'll see. Kind of depends on what patterns we're bowling on. If I'm something that looks a little bit longer, a little more volume, I'm definitely going to keep the Widow in my bag just because it's another option to be able to kind of control the lane a little bit. But no, those balls look really good. So I'm going to hop over here. We're going to do our thing to try to see who's going to end up being the winner of the Buddies merch pack today. If you guys have any other questions, throw them in there real quick before we finish up the stream, and we'll get them answered, and then we'll go from there. All right. So just to kind of wrap things up, we'll go ball to ball. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit. Big fan of what I've seen out of this in comparison to my Hazmat Pearl, which is what I wanted out of the Hazmat Pearl, something that's going to be a little cleaner, that I can really wrap my hand around, and it's still going to finish off the spot pretty strong for me and not be too strong to the point where it's really early and kind of lazy down lane when I do that. And I think this thing had no issues making the corner, especially as I was feeding the friction. It looked better as we kept going. So big fan of this. I do see this probably ended up in the bag. I'm going to have to kick somebody out for it. A lot of good pieces in the bag these days, so it's really, really difficult to tell for that one. And like I said already, with the 3.0 Dynasty, I think it's exactly what they were saying it was going to be in terms of just being a not necessarily in terms of overall shape, a lot less than what the Zero Mercy is, just where it's doing it and how it looks. So Zero Mercy, definitely something that's going to chug in the middle part of the lane and still be a very strong piece to continue. Whereas if you need something that's going to pop just a little sharper down lane and not necessarily be as far, or, you know, not necessarily have to keep 10 out, but I think this ball is going to be really good for something that's going to be a little bit sharper off the spot. Comparison with that Zero Mercy, it's really good step down. So we'll see how this one ends up playing in the bag for me. Like I said, if it is on something that's got a little bit more volume in it, it's got something a little bit more volume that we're going to be bowling on, then I'm going to be sticking with this this in the bag somewhere. We'll kick out some of the lower end stuff. So I'm going to give you guys just a second. They got a lot of announcements going on. So congratulations to all the seniors in the building. You guys should see the senior league here. They always get super hyped. So probably have to take a camera down here one day. Having said that, thank you guys for watching the stream. We're going to go ahead and announce the winner. Drum roll. The winner of the Buddies merch pack is going to be Nick Albatross. So, Nick, feel free to message the Buddies page, get us the best shipping address, and we're going to get you a Buddies prize pack sent out to you. We appreciate everybody watching. It means a ton that you guys support what we're doing here, bringing your questions, fighting through the audio and audio issues and all the other technical issues that we have just to have a good time and talk about some new pieces. If you guys are interested in seeing these a little bit more, next week we have planned for 2 separate balls. We're going to be doing the Transformer as well as the new, oh, he's going to be so mad at me, the Vengeance. Imagine that. Vengeance, if you're watching, you'll be all right. We're going to be doing those balls, both big, early aggressive balls. Vengeance a little bit more, so it's definitely going to be a little more rounded. So if you're interested in taking a look at those, tune in next Friday, same time, same place, and get yourself a Buddies merch pack by liking and sharing. Thanks for watching.